Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about how to absolutely master two of the most common and, honestly, most important questions you'll face in any job interview. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to turn them into your biggest advantage.
And here they are. You know the ones. Tell me about your educational background, and tell me about your work experience. These can feel a little intimidating, right? It's so easy to feel put on the spot. But here's the secret. These aren't just questions. They are a golden opportunity for you to just shine.
So here's the big mindset shift. This isn't a test where you just list off a bunch of facts from your resume. Think of it as an invitation. It's your chance to take the wheel, to control the conversation, and tell a really compelling story about your professional journey.
Okay, let's dive right into our first pillar, how to craft your education story. Now, to build that story in a really effective way, we've got to be precise with our language. So let's just quickly make sure we're all on the same page with a few key terms.
First up, your major. Pretty straightforward, right? This is your main subject, your primary field of study at university.
Then you have your minor. This is such a great way to show off a complementary skill set or even just a different area of interest that makes you more well-rounded.
And of course, postgraduate studies, we're talking a master's or a PhD here, this is where you demonstrate a much deeper level of expertise. You know, just getting this terminology right is the first step to sounding polished and professional. So, let's build that story. Don't just say what your degree is, explain why. Why did you choose it? Connect your major and your minor directly to the skills that employer is looking for. Did you have a special track or concentration? You've got to mention it. And definitely highlight any continuous learning, seminars, conferences. It shows you're proactive and you're staying current in your field.
All right, let's move on to our second pillar. This is where we build on that foundation and turn your work experience into a story of tangible impact. And this is where you really start to pull away from the competition.
Okay, this is so important. Anybody can say they were responsible for customer satisfaction. It's vague, it's boring, and honestly, it's forgettable. What gets you hired are specific, concrete achievements that actually prove your value.
Think about this, a single number, like 5%. On its own, it means nothing, right? But in an interview, a specific metric just grabs attention. This 5%, for example, could represent a lowered customer churn rate, a real, measurable success that a hiring manager can understand.
And this just shows the difference perfectly. On the left, a vague, forgettable statement. On the right, an impactful story. It uses a strong action verb, implemented, and it connects that action to a specific number, 5%. And then, it ties that number to the thing all businesses care about, revenue. Now that is powerful.
One more key piece of advice for this section. You have to always stay positive. Even if you had a terrible experience, you never, ever complain about a former boss or a company. Interviewers are looking for professionalism and a great attitude, not negativity. Frame your reasons for leaving in terms of looking for new opportunities.
Okay, so we have our story structure down. Now, let's sharpen our tools. Let's look at the specific language that's going to make your answer sound so much more professional and confident.
Let's start with a few power words. Using a formal connector like hence might seem like a small thing, but it makes your reasoning sound really logical and polished. It connects your ideas beautifully.
Here's another easy swap. Instead of a simple word like try, use a stronger verb like strive. It just shows so much more determination and a powerful work ethic.
And what about describing your experience with a word like breadth? It's perfect. It immediately signals that you have a wide, valuable skill set. See? These are small changes in language, but they make a huge impact. And finally, you have to pack your toolkit with strong action verbs. So instead of saying you were in charge of a team, say you supervised and coordinated them. Instead of you started a new plan, no, you implemented new strategies. These words show you're a doer, not just a watcher.
All right, so theory is great, but let's see what this looks like in the real world. We're going to put all of these pillars and all this vocabulary together and see how a perfect answer gets crafted piece by piece.
So notice how this starts. It doesn't just state the degree, it explains the why. It connects the major to marketable skills and the minor to interpersonal skills. And did you see that beautiful use of hence? It just logically ties the whole thing together. Now for the work experience part. Look at those fantastic action verbs right out of the gate. Supervised, coordinated, implemented. This immediately paints a picture of a proactive, capable manager. not just someone who is passively holding down a job.
And here it is, the knockout punch, the specific, quantifiable result. They didn't just implement strategies, those strategies led to lowering the churn rate to 5%. And they closed the loop by stating its direct impact on revenue. That is an unforgettable answer.
So let's bring it all home, shall we? We've seen how you can take these common, everyday questions and completely transform them from a simple Q&A into a compelling story about your professional value.
Here's your winning formula, your 4-step plan. First, tell a story. Second, use those power words and strong action verbs we talked about. Third, and this is the big one, quantify your impact with memorable numbers. And finally, always connect everything back to why you are the perfect person for this specific job.
So, I'll leave you with this one final thought. Take a moment right now and think about your own career. What is the one number, a percentage, a dollar amount, a time frame, that best proves your professional impact? Find that number, build your story around it, and you will be ready to ace your next interview.